I had a month to get out of Japan. I had a girlfriend, I had a car, I had an apartment, I had a motorcycle, I had a whole life there. But it was a bit of a blessing in disguise because around that time, I did discover NLP right around the end of my 200 weddings. I discovered NLP after trying to consult psychiatrists, after taking medication. I went to a Japanese doctor and he gave me all these drugs, which just made me feel like I was in zombie mode. I tried fucking everything. And I discovered an NLP coach in the United States. He's still my mentor to this day. His name is Dale. I got on a call with Dale and he walked me through the same protocols that I use in my 3-month coaching program to completely and utterly get over my anxiety, agoraphobia, and panic attacks.
The Unapologetic Man Podcast.
I taught middle school, which in Japanese is called chugakko, and that's 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So I basically went in there and taught English to the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, some of the best years of my life. I did that for 2 years, and then from the countryside where I worked, I moved to Osaka, the second biggest city in Japan, to become a wedding announcer. Now, this is its own podcast episode, but very briefly, the reason why they hire white boys like me who could speak Japanese, and I could speak Japanese by that time. I literally studied for 16 hours a day for 4 years. They hire gaijin like me, and gaijin means outside person, basically a foreigner, to do wedding ceremonies because they like Western style weddings. They like the veil, they like the tuxedo. It goes a lot faster. It's a lot more romantic than the traditional Japanese weddings. So they hire foreigners like me who could speak Japanese to marry them. Well, on my third wedding, I had a panic attack. I don't know why it happened. I think I've done an episode about this. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but basically it was like stage fright, me being on stage and being absolutely terrified. And it was one of the most pivotal moments of my life because I remember being up there on stage. I had the panic attack, man. I must have gone completely pale. The room was closing in and there was a door to my left that I very distinctly remember. I was halfway through their wedding, all in Japanese. And I said to myself, I will fucking die before I ruin these people's wedding. So somehow, some way I kept doing the wedding. And then from that point on, wedding number 3 to wedding number 200, I had some sort of anxiety, panic attack, or anxious related symptom happen before every single wedding. I'm going to try to have my brother send me a picture of what I look like around that time, but I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I looked like an absolute skeleton. I flew back to the United States halfway through that. And my mom was like, dude, are you eating over there? What's wrong with you? And I hadn't yet discovered NLP, which can save my life, which is why I use it today. But basically, I was stuck doing those weddings because I was applying for my visa through the wedding company and I couldn't quit the company. I couldn't get out of it. Eventually, again, a very long story, I got my visa rejected because the Japanese government doesn't like the fact that Americans like myself are doing weddings in their country. It's very frowned upon. So my visa was denied and I was deported. And one of the few words I still remember from Japanese, I've forgotten 98% of it because I just don't use it. One of the few words I've remembered is called Kyosei Sokan, which means deported. I had a month to get out of Japan. I had a girlfriend, I had a car, I had an apartment, I had a motorcycle, I had a whole life there. But it was a bit of a blessing in disguise because around that time, I did discover NLP right around the end of my 200 weddings. I discovered NLP after trying to consult psychiatrists, after taking medication. I went to a Japanese doctor and he gave me all these drugs, which just made me feel like I was in zombie mode. I tried fucking everything. And I discovered an NLP coach in the United States. He's still my mentor to this day. His name is Dale. I got on a call with Dale and he walked me through the same protocols that I use in my 3-month coaching program to completely and utterly get over my anxiety, agoraphobia, and panic attacks. And by the way, agoraphobia is when you can't fucking go outside. I would stay in my apartment every single day just studying Japanese because I was trying to get certified as a translator. And the only time I would go out was when I was going to do some weddings. The worst and hardest day of my life is when I had to do 7 weddings in one day. I do not know how I got through that. I didn't sleep for 3 days leading up to it. I did not eat. I don't know what force of nature had my back that day, but I sure believe it was something on the other side because I don't know how I got through it. And I would have to do like 3 weddings a day, 4 weddings a day. But I remember so clearly those 7 weddings. I don't know how I did it, man. So I discovered NLP through the processes that, again, I include in my 3-month coaching program. I was able to get over my anxiety, panic attacks, and agoraphobia. At this time, when I got deported from Japan, my buddy who lived in Hawaii is like, yo, you could come live with me. He was my best friend in college. His name is Dave. I always call him Dape. And we lived together on the fucking beach in Hawaii. And I was a Japanese translator on a sunset dinner cruise boat that went out in front of Waikiki. What's up, brother? Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. To watch the full podcast episode, click here. And before you go, if you're feeling extra generous, please like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me in the algorithm. I'd sincerely appreciate it. Unapologetic Army.